Thank you very much, comrades. This is the third segment of the State of the Union address. So far, we have discussed some of the background and specific issues which led to the resolution of the two-third majority of inaugurated state councils calling for a special delegate conference. We discussed those specific issues. We then moved on to analyze Articles 6 and 7 of the Constitution and explored the resolution and the prayers of the inaugurated state councils. At this point in time, I will be examining with you the communique that I signed alongside the Acting General Secretary, Comrade Ali Sodibo, after the Special National Delegate Conference, which was held on July 8, 2025. I accepted the resolution after considering the specific issues which were delivered in the preamble of the resolution and the provisions of Article 7 of the Constitution. And based upon this and my own discretion, the Special National Delegate Conference was called for. The major points that are examined for the purpose of emphasis by the two-third majority of state councils are that 16th of June meeting called for by the CWC did not receive my consent or the Acting General Secretary's consent, and that the resolution to hold meetings weekly by the Central Working Committee Mondays of every week now without approval of the NEC or the approval of myself as a presiding officer contravenes Article 9C and Article 16A. I do believe that the Special National Delegate Conference now was able to make immediate corrections to errors that were occurring from a gap within our Constitution. The Constitution did not explicitly give powers to other organs of the Union to call for an emergency meeting except the Central Working Committee. And the first resolution of the Special National Delegate Conference is the ratification of the motion for amendment raised by the two-third majority of state councils of Section 9B, subsection 5, and Article 16 and 8B of the Constitution. It recognizes that the Central Working Committee shall convene meetings of the NEC. The President and the General Secretary in conjunction can also convene the NEC meeting, or the NEC by a two-third majority of state councils can convene an emergency meeting at any point in time for a particular business or purpose. So that it should also be amended under Article 8B number 7 that the NEC shall have the power to convene its meeting at any point in time, so far two-third majority of the elected members of the NEC adopts a resolution to that effect. Article 16, subsection 9 should now read that the National President, in conjunction with the General Secretary, can convene for emergency NEC meeting. The ratification of Article 21C and Article 6A, subsection 1 of the Constitution, as moved by the two-third majority of inaugurated state councils, was achieved at the Special National Delegate Conference. So you know that the delegates moved the motion to amend Article 21 that the allocation of eligible delegates shall not be determined by financial contribution of such a state and branch into the Union. The allocation of eligible delegates shall be based on equal number of delegates per branch, 3 across board. Each delegate elected at the branch must have paid 6 months of checkup dues. Now, this applies to Article 6A, subsection 1, on the composition of the National Delegate Conference on the basis of the monthly aggregate payment from the last cutoff date on the basis of 2 delegates per branch, reflecting equality of branches. So there was a need to ratify this area of the Constitution because previously the section of the Constitution lacked sufficient clarity on the composition of the National Delegate Conference. On one hand, it's mentioned the equality of 2 delegates per branch, and on the other hand, it mentioned 1 delegate per every 200,000 naira paid up dues. There was a need to clarify this section because we don't have a definition of the composition of delegates for the National Delegate Conference. So the Special National Delegate Conference also notes that Article 28 conflicts with Article 8C, number 4 in the Constitution. For example, under Article 28, amendments to the Constitution shall be made at the National Delegate Conference, provided that the motion for the amendment is carried by a simple majority of all members that are present and voting in a secret ballot, and provided that notice of any amendment shall have been given to all members at least 7 days before the National Delegate Conference. But Article 8C, now number 4, states that NEC is also saddled with the responsibility to move a motion for amendment of the Constitution, and such amendment shall be supported by 2/3 majority. Any amendment shall be presented to the National Delegate Conference or the Special National Delegate Conference. So the Special National Delegate Conference in session then ratified Article 28, subsection 5 of the Constitution, which now reads that amendments to the Constitution can be made at the NEC, the SNDC, and the NDC, provided that the amendment to the Constitution is made by the simple majority of those that are present. So an addendum was raised as a motion on the resolution of the state councils to establish the Board of Trustees, but that decision was deferred until further notice. We did not reach a resolution on that. The communique that we sent out also highlighted the motion moved for the dissolution of the Central Working Committee in between the Special Delegate Conference and the National Delegate Conference. Instead, it was determined by the delegates of the Special National Delegate Conference that it wouldn't be harmful for the National Executive Council to meet in between the Special National Delegate Conference and the National Delegate Conference, instead of dissolving the CWC. It then brings the subject of the ratified Article 9B, number 5 of the Constitution, which presupposes that the President, in conjunction with the General Secretary, the CWC, or the 60% majority of NEC members, can call for a National Executive Council meeting. We did receive a rebuttal